All right, so good news. I'm sorry, it cut off, and I realized that my phone was at 1%, so I had to stop it a little, and I wasn't able to do it back up. But we got it to where it looks like it was meeting the window pane test or the light test, whatever it was. So now we just have it, and Alex just checked it. It's been sitting for about 35-ish minutes. And he said that it looked like it was about doubled in size. I'm terrible at judging this kind of thing, so I asked him to check it, and he said it's definitely bigger, which means I didn't kill the yeast. Yay! It's super exciting. That was what I was most concerned about. It's not a very nice ball anymore, but looks nice and big, which is exciting. I'm gonna just keep that covered while I am getting the filling ready, because my plan was sit down, eat, and get the filling ready with a few minutes left on the clock. Did not happen that way. I was enjoying sitting down too much, so now I have to melt some butter, and then we'll get going. Sorry, I have to be able to get to the microwave, but it's really funny. I put that hot water in that bowl to soak, and the little bits of dough that were stuck to the beaters are growing as well. But okay, let me get even better. Okay, so we've got butter going in the microwave, and we need to get a cup of brown sugar going. And then I forgot that I am indeed going to have to do this in multiple runs, because I hope that wasn't something gross. It was just like a chunk of brown sugar. But it does have to do a second rise, and well, actually, I might have been able to do it in one go, but because I started so late, it's already almost 9:30, which is usually when I start getting ready for bed. So it gives me plenty of time to like do my Spanish lesson if I forgot, or read, or whatever, you know. Anyway, that's not what you're here. But it's really late. I did make a cake at like 10 o'clock a few weeks ago, but this is not exactly prime cooking hour. So I'm gonna get the second set done, and then I'm just gonna leave it, do the second rise overnight, and then from there I can finish these up in the morning. And that's the easy part, really, is you just have to, you have to bake them, obviously, and then while you're finishing, like when close to the end of the baking process, you make the glaze, and then after they've chilled for a few minutes, then or not chilled, but like cooled off for a few minutes, then you put the glaze on. So that's gonna be the easy part. Then I can have them for breakfast tomorrow morning, which will be nice. I was supposed to have them for breakfast today, but as you can tell, that did not happen, and that was largely due to the fact that we were quarantined for a little bit, and I did not have the ingredients I needed because I was not able to go to the store. But I was able to go to the store today, which, as much as I hate grocery shopping, that was a nice birthday present. Like, oh yay, you're negative, you're good to go, you can leave the house, which is cool. But yeah, so that's that. We are almost done. I'm very, very tired right now. I've been running for a little bit today, but I'm so excited. I cannot possibly explain to you how excited I am that these that they actually rose. It looks like it's being dough, doing its thing. So at this point, there's not much I can do. Like it's kind of done. It's risen. It's over. Not like Jesus though. You're. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah. So I'm really tired. I'm so sorry. But I'm like barely coherent at this point. But yeah, I'm super excited that rose. That was definitely what I was most concerned about. Means I didn't kill the yeast. So now I just kind of have to hope that I made gluten well enough. I asked Alex to like look at the example and then also look at mine and check and make sure that it looked like it was doing the window pane test correctly, and he was like, I think it's fine. So he often gets asked to do the round 2 of testing on stuff like that, and bless his heart, he really doesn't know what he's looking at most of the time, because I'm just like, I'm the one that watches these recipes and these videos and looks at stuff like this, and I'm like, hey, can you give me your opinion? And he's like, I mean, I think it looks fine, like I don't really know what I'm looking at, you're the one that does this. I'm like, I know, but like, I want you to look. I just need the reassurance that somebody else thinks it looks right. Okay, there's our cup. I hope this bowl is big enough. I hope I'm not gonna get in trouble for that. Alex is always telling me when we're recording on his channel, he's like, Reilly, you can't, there's got butter on the counter. Dang. He's like, Reilly, you can't sing while we're recording, partially because like if I'm singing something like that, like if I'm singing the theme music that's playing in the background, then like it doesn't match up exactly right, so it sounds really weird and gross. But if I'm singing something that's anything really that's like not original, like, you know, we could get in trouble and end up with a copyright strike for that, and that would not be fun. So let's not do that if we can help it. Check the recipe here. I think I just need a couple tablespoons of Simeon. And I'll probably call Alex in for this because he's the one that, he really likes Simeon, and I want him to tell me if he thinks it's too much or too little. I hope I have enough Simeon. I did not check earlier before I left for the store, and I meant to ask him to look, and I forgot, so. Hey, Alex!
Yeah.
So Alex just reminded me that I did indeed buy some today because I forgot to check. I just went ahead and bought some just to be on the safe side. So I do have a whole other bottle of cinnamon lying around. Oh well. This is like really dark, and like it makes sense because it's brown sugar and cinnamon and butter, so like obviously, but you know. So that's one. The nice thing is that I'm pretty much just making these for us. It makes about like around a dozen, I think. Oh, I'm very glad that I bought another bottle of cinnamon. But yeah, it only makes about a dozen, so it's not like a huge recipe, and we both really like cinnamon rolls, so I'm probably not going to be sharing this with anybody, and that makes it it's just a little less stressful. Like, obviously, I'm stressing about it because it's something I've never done before, and it's just like a whole, like, using yeast is a very different, like, it's just a whole other ball game, you know, and so that's kind of, that's a little scary, but like at the same time, I don't have to worry about, like, you know, possibly like not have cleaned off my counter like super well, or like if I, you know, and like if I were doing this for somebody else, I probably would have, after I measured out all the ingredients before I like started kneading dough, I would have washed my hands again, you know. But just because it's just us, like, we're good to go on that. So that's nice. It's just like, not that I'm uncleanly or anything when I'm just baking for us, but it's just it's like a little less, especially when I was cooking and I was afraid that I still was possibly, when I hadn't got my negative test back, I was like, I want to make sure that this is like, you know, I'm not going to kill anybody. And also it means that I can do this. think I'm just gonna use like the rest of what is in this. Yeah, I think that'll be plenty. And then this is the tricky part. Okay, got out my handy dandy rolling cup. That's what most people have, right? So that's cool. I really need to fix that. But here's the thing, even if I had remembered, I have my apron on, I'm gonna end up with flour all over me. Let me go grab that real quick. One day that piece is going to be long enough that it stays on my way without me having to push it. But today is not that day. Okay. But yeah, even if I had remembered to look for a rolling pin today, I haven't been able to find one. I've looked in a couple different stores already, and I just haven't been able to find one. I usually go down to Target and look down there because I can usually find a little more stuff down there. It's so big. Fantastic. I really hope I did this right. Look how big it is. I mean, you'll see here in a second. It feels so funny. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of smush this flat real quick, just because the less that I have to do with the cup, the better. It's just a little easier. Okay. Oh gosh, this is so scary. Cause like I can't fix it now. You know, it's like it's done. What's done is done. No one is to speak to Edmund about what I've done in the past. Okay. So we're gonna roll this with our handy dandy cup. It really has come in clutch for me. Like, I mean, I don't know that I necessarily use the same one every time, but it's been good. You know, it does the job that it was not intended to do pretty well. It smells really good, so that's a good sign, right? It should smell good. The only time that I've really had any experience with yeast, other than the time that my friend Michelle, you know, showed me how to bake bread. Gosh, that was probably a year ago now. Was my grandmother has these yeast dinner rolls that she makes, and my mom, when she killed her yeast, that was what she was making, and they were making it for a dinner party that my dad was cooking for. My dad's a chef, among other things. My dad is a chef, and she made them when we were home last in March. So my best friend and I think it was just two of us, we go help out in the kitchen, you know, when everything's. This is supposed. I just remembered. I was like, I don't know how big this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be about 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch thick. I don't have my ruler in here, which I like to have. Yes, I actually measure the dough to see that it's around the right thickness, I guess is the best word for that. I didn't, like I said, with the cookie dough, the cookie cake, I did not take a video of that and post it anywhere. I just did a couple Snapchat videos here and there and sent them to the original crew of Snapchat, of the Kitchen Catastrophes. There's video evidence of me like taking a paring knife and going around with a ruler right next to it and going around and making sure that I had it ruled out the right thickness all the way around. So I'm gonna go retrieve my part of it is that I'm a perfectionist, but part of it is that I'm really bad at eyeballing things, stuff like that. Like I'm just not Depth perception, I'm really just really bad at it. That's depth perception, like, is the hardest part for me for driving. I cannot tell how close I am to the person in front of me, how quickly they're stopping. I can't tell those things. I'm a fairly decent driver, but that, like, I'm constantly checking, like, the 2-second rule. I'm doing it all the time just to make sure, because I can't tell. And, like, when people are stopping, like, it's kind of stressful, because I'm like, I just don't know. And I end up, like, sometimes I end up slamming on my brakes, but more often than not, I'll end up just, like, coasting to a stop, like, way slower than I need it to be, or slowing down way earlier than I should have, because, like, I just can't tell. All that to say, I need my ruler to check this, because I don't want it to be too thin, but I also don't want it to be too thick, because, you know, things are supposed to be a certain thickness when you bake them for a reason. Right, so I'm going to grab that guy, and hopefully we'll be close to getting this done. I grabbed my ruler, and Alex was sitting on the couch in front of me. I was like, just gave me the weirdest look. But look, dude. Okay. We're looking pretty good. It looks like we are